Right now, as the sand compresses under my feet and the sun hits my salty skin, a flood of memories, feelings from this past year rush through me.
Be careful, John.
John and I bought a boat, sailed 3,800 nautical miles along the Australian coastline, and along the way became hooked on the adventure. But here, in this moment, I'm realising our journey in this continent is coming to an end. And this is our last episode Down Under. So let's make it a bloody good one.
You just got to commit. And I was like committed. I was like, oh.
I have my first accident with our drone. And we have
A lot to catch you up on.
like our thoughts on selling our yacht to Kana,
So that kind of hampered the ability for us to sell the boat.
to our plans for the next 2 years.
Where do you guys plan to go?
Well,
in the Med.
Well, the plan is
So come join us on board for our last few days in Australia, because this time next week, we'll be taking you overseas for a new chapter.
50 metres!
If you missed our last episode, John and I are...
Currently on a $1.6 million boat. John and I would never be able to afford to be able to have this experience if it wasn't possible to do a charter. And it's allowed us to be able to see some places in the Whitsundays that we haven't seen before with some other epic, awesome Aussies.
John and I have explored this region, the famous Whitsundays and the Great Barrier Reef, extensively, while we sailed up here and along the east coast of Australia while on our own boat to Kana during a 3,800 nautical mile trip. But there were a couple of hidden gems that we missed, like Butterfly Bay, Manta Ray Bay, and Border Island. So it's nice to be back here and finally tick off these destinations off our bucket list.
this is our berth. We've comfortably moved in.
You can find my snorkel.
Yes, it's just down there.
So this morning, bright and early on board, we're going to sail you first to Manta Ray Bay. We have heard so much about this place because the fish here are supposedly so friendly they come up for pats. It's meant to be one of the best dive sites in the Whitsundays. It's a no anchoring area, so with a break in the weather and an early start, we've been able to secure one of its 2 moorings that are set with a 2-hour limit.
I reckon this is maybe one of my favourite spots in the Whitsundays. Once you see the fish,
But to get a true appreciation of this place from above, sending up the drone is always a good idea. Now, we've sent the drone up dozens of times on board before. We've had close calls. This was moments before
Behind the scenes, baby.
my luck ran out.
Uh-oh.
The blade cuts me.
Uh-oh. Are you okay?
Actually, a lot of blood.
Yeah, you should be making
Like,
a
look
fist.
how much blood there is. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it's
actually
all
making
over
me feel a bit sick.
Just make a fist.
It happened as we were filming the rest of the crew getting ready to snorkel. And they heard me scream, Slim and Soph raced back.
Oh, it really hurts.
I was like, I wonder if it like
Oh
draw
my
blood and then we
gosh.
could see little drips on the side of
That
the
was
boat.
not
the
good.
pain you go through for the shots, eh? How deep is it?
You know what? We're at John's Hospital here. What's going on, Doctor? Dr. Tilly.
Oh, mate.
Were you saying, like when we first got on the boat, you're like, I've never had the drone cut
No.
me?
Had it once.
Or have
like
you had it once
Musgrave.
before?
God, tip.
I was not expecting that. Is there blood on the side of the
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
boat?
splash it off.
Really?
There's just a few little driplets, but yeah.
You just got to commit. And I was
Yeah.
just like committed. I was like, oh! I could just see all the blood like going
Sorry.
everywhere.
It was
You
like-
don't want to drop it
You
and like...
yeah, once you've got it, like, honestly, Christina, I reckon we might have to amputate that.
Well, it's almost amputated,
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest. Like, I think
Gotta finish the
Yeah,
job.
finish
Just
the
chop
job.
the tip off.
I've actually lost sensation in the tip of my finger and it feels weird. Feels like really numb.
After a quick nip and tuck, it was time to witness Manta Ray Bay.
You start swimming over? Alright, let's go.
In minutes, thousands of fish just swarmed us.
That scared me.
I was just like a kid in the candy store. I was like, oh my gosh, mind blown. And like, beautiful George is here. He's a massive Maori wrasse.
We came up like literally for like a little pat.
And heaps of batfish come up and like almost nibble on your toes, and yeah, it's just stunning. And then it's just such a beautiful like bay with its greenery.
So cute, like these fish just follow you around.
Even though we've lived on a boat for so long, believe it or not, John and I still don't really know how to free dive properly. For me personally, I kind of panic after 30 seconds or so underwater. So when we start sailing on some other boats in different locations around the world this year, we hope to learn the skill. Which brings me to this very random segue, because just like my voice transformed over the past decade as a TV journalist,
Christina Castalis reporting when you got the top 1%. Plenty for her to do here.
I know learning a new skill just takes time.
But experts say it doesn't have to be that hard. Christina Castalis for BNN.
Christina has announced that she can actually do a Siri voice, and I've been waiting this whole trip to hear it.
I'm trying to think of something to say.
The goat has some really nice balls.
That goat has really big.
That goat has really big balls.
Oh, that is surreal.
That goat has really big cojones.
And so we're in Butterfly Bay for the night. A hop, skip, jump from Manta Ray Bay.
This is the very first time we have been to Butterfly Bay.
We're on the northern end of the Whitsundays. This is facing south, and it's a nice little enclosed bay. We have southeasterlies tonight, so we're nice and protected in here. Heaps of moorings, nice reef, a lot of tropical surrounding mountains, which is pretty cool on the island.
So we've taken a moment to stretch our legs and thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about the sale of our yacht Tucana.
How did you find the process of selling Tucana?
It was a little bit stressful. It was hard having spent so much time working on the boat to then know that you're selling it.
The process of selling her was at times really tedious. So tedious. We had a few people come on board, and it was just because we sold her ourselves really through our amazing broker.
We sold it with the help of our friend who's a broker who did all the marketing for us, but we basically managed the sale process. The problem is with selling boats is it takes a lot of time to show someone through. You can't, it's not like an open home where you can have 15 people go through the boat at the same time. So it's like one at a time. We spent a lot of time prepping the boat because we were still living on it at that point. So trying to sell a boat while you're living on it is not easy.
We had to like vacuum it and clean it and get all our personal items off so it looked beautiful and presentable, because you just don't know who's going to actually purchase it. Every time you show someone, it's like they're going to be the ones. And then we found the ones.
Yeah, we did. We're very happy.
So happy. The owners are so beautiful. Like, it couldn't have gone to a more beautiful couple who treat her with so much love and respect. And they have announced us as the godparents. Mind you, we are getting a little old, aren't we?
So they picked it up from us in Brisbane and they've sailed it back down to Melbourne, back where the adventure all began.
She's doing full circle.
Yeah, full circle, and they're back sailing around Port Phillip Bay, which is pretty cool. And I think they've got some plans over the next few years, which is pretty exciting.
Last week we shared how this is our first time sailing on a catamaran.
We're on the awesome Lagoon 450S, which is Portland Roads, which is this one right here. Awesome boat, nice crew, and amazing location. And you know, what's kind of funny as well is like, this is the off season, so this is cyclone season. We're in the heart of cyclone season.
And mostly we've been blessed with good weather.
Like, we've been pretty lucky, haven't we?
There was just one occasion
It's not been too bad.
where the swell picked up and a squall caught us.
Yeah, it's a little overcast.
We've also got the stingers, which we haven't had any problems with so far.
And by stingers, John's talking about the Irukandji jellyfish.
We're off again. That was our little beach adventure for the day.
Very random.
We've done some physical activity.
We've actually gone for a run or something.
Yeah, go. Yeah, we're in slow-mo.
Baywatch style. Down.
Yeah.
So we're going to spill the beans on our future plans shortly.
I guess we have to talk to everyone about our plan, hey?
We do hope to sail on another catamaran soon.
What do you think about the bedroom?
It's nice. It's got aircon, light switches, reading lights, fans, portholes, hatches, blinds, fly screen.
It's very roomy.
It has hanging space, power points, air conditioning controls.
Last night when I was in the shower, I felt like I was on a house for a second. I completely forgot that I was on a boat. On here, we have a water maker. There are 7 of us. Yeah, 7 of us. And we haven't run out of water. We can just keep on going and going for days. Pretty cool, huh?
Having a water maker on board makes cleaning up a breeze, just helping with the little things like doing the endless amount of dishes that pile up. So while we're getting organised, let's talk about today's plans. We're sailing to Border Island, another hidden gem John and I missed while sailing this area on board Tucana. We're then going to motor around to Chalkies, where we're going to let our hair down and explain what's been happening since John returned to work as an airline pilot and what our lives have looked like since we've been back on land over the past few months. So clearly, I'm still getting used to this boat.
Oh.
There's a step there.
And realising my limits.
You want to pick up the mooring?
Why doesn't Christina pick up?
Yeah, I can do that.
I mean, it was nice that the crew had faith.
Thank you.
But this was potentially a disaster waiting to happen.
50 metres. Yeah, 3 more metres.
In Queensland, different mooring sizes can be identified by a coloured sticker.
Do I need to stop?
The problem is, they fade.
Like almost knocked everyone out.
That was like maybe this.
You were like Jackie Chan. He was like Jackie Chan, like doing a.
And unfortunately, after our first attempt, we had to move moorings.
Is it too short?
This way.
Hey, what's it say on the mooring?
What colour is it?
This one too had faded, and on closer inspection,
It's too small for
Well,
us.
it looked red, but maybe it was yellow.
Once upon a time, it might have been red.
this one ended up being way too small for us.
You did a good job getting it on considering it's so short.
To be honest, Slim did most of the heavy lifting because of my pinky problem.
I think something bit me. Just this finger.
Our main concern is that it wasn't a bite, but a sting from an irukandji jellyfish.
Simon got something stingy on his hands. I hope he's okay.
If I start saying weird in 40 minutes.
Irukandji jellyfish swarm in this region during cyclone season. It's one of the most venomous and smallest jellyfish in the world, about the size of your pinky fingernail. When stung, symptoms include headache, cramping, but the worst is probably the lasting psychological effects. Scientists describe this as a feeling of impending doom. While keeping a close eye on Slim, we're getting our wetsuits on to snorkel the reef here. You've probably noticed we've all been wearing them. Not so much because of the water temperature, it's actually pretty pleasant to be completely honest. But the wetsuits act as a stinger suit. So it turns out after 40 minutes, Slim wasn't showing any signs of weirdness or experiencing a feeling of impending doom. And his sting vanished.
So we have some like pretty epic news, don't we? It's been, we've been on land for a bit now, and we've been trying to get this row or like part-time work for John, and it's been really like quite difficult, but we've finally gotten there, but it's taken a little bit of sacrifice.
So the thing is with working part-time rather than just quitting my job is it allows me to keep my hand in flying, which I enjoy flying, but also from the financial aspect, it's kind of easing ourselves between land life and our careers and sort of what we want to do. As we kind of build, or you build this YouTube channel out, this just gives us an opportunity to spend more time on the YouTube, less on work. And then hopefully we can grow it to the point where, you know, it gives us even more freedom and flexibility down the track. But in the interim, this is kind of like a best of both worlds scenario, isn't it?
Over the past few months since selling Takana, as you know, we've been back on land. John went back to work.
Better take a photo of them up.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
And I've been busy doing voiceovers and editing full time.
Amazing. My new office. This is what my mornings sort of look like. Just got a voiceover that's come through. It's just a little bit of a side income. I guess that's the thing. I've just literally been editing full time at home. I've got cabin fever.
Yeah, I know, it's time to go.
It's time to go.
So receiving the news that John was able to keep his job, yet access the freedom to travel with a part-time position for the next 2 years was the news we needed.
Christina,
Yeah?
I'm just having my breakfast here in Bali.
Yeah.
I just got an email. Have a look at this.
Oh no, the reception's breaking up. The last temporary position is yours?
In order for us to access this position though, we had to move interstate back to our hometown of Adelaide.
Oh my gosh.
Obviously, we're from Adelaide, and the last time we lived there was when I was 17 and John was 19. So it was a good 15 years ago. So it's kind of a bit bizarre going back to our hometown, the place where John and I grew up. How do you feel about moving to Adelaide?
Well, I don't think we'll be there very much. It'll be a base, won't it?
Yeah.
I'll be working for a little bit. You'll be editing, and we'll be planning our next trip. So it'll be 1 month on, 1 month off, and we'll be traveling every other month.
Can you quickly tell us about Takana and the sale and how that went?
Yes, basically we didn't want to muck up the storyline, so we didn't actually make it known at the time to our YouTube channel or viewers that were selling it, so that kind of hampered the ability for us to sell the boat a little bit because as I say, it's hard to sell a secret. But the boat sold fairly fast, so if you're sailing the east coast of Australia, keep your eyes peeled for Takana.
Yeah.
She'll be lurking around the coast somewhere.
I really want to
need
talk.
to
I
get
know, but we need to talk about your haircut, we need to talk about your job, and we need to talk about a few other things.
Okay.
Like our goals for this year, where we're taking you next, and who won our 5-day mainstay sailing course giveaway. By the way, if you're thinking of doing a charter in the Whitsundays, Portland Roads is hooking up our viewers with a 20% discount off any of their boats, even in the peak periods. Just use my code in the description below, and patrons, you guys get 25% off. Tonight, the plan is to have a little fiesta party on board off of a beach called Chalkies, where we're on our way to now. The sand on this island is white as a piece of chalk. With the sails out, Janae from YouTube Sailing Channel leading the escapade, and So from Sailing the Karma are busy in the kitchen preparing lunch, making homemade sushi packed with fresh veggies.
I gotta say, it's pretty good.
Welcome to Chalkies, one of only a handful of places in the Whitsundays that has the same soft white silica sand as Whitehaven Beach. Free public moorings line the coast, so we're going to nab one. We have just arrived. Wow, this is like a mill pond.
Is that red to you? Does that look red to you?
Yeah, that looks red.
Hard to tell, eh?
It is hard to tell. They all look red, actually.
Yeah, that's red. Yeah. It's yellow. Oh, it's no good.
We are literally 12 meters depth right now, and the beach is just there. This is Chalkies. Oh, something just massive just flung out of the water in the shallows. Dolphins! Oh, wow!
It's got a white thing.
So before we let our hair down and celebrate this special milestone together with the crew, here's what's coming up next. We're going to be exploring one of our favourite countries in the world, Greece, right before the European summer officially kicks off. Then a quick detour to sail in the Bahamas. In fact, we're en route there as we speak. So head over to my Instagram and join us for a preview of what's to come. And then we're officially sailing the Med with you guys.
So what's your plans? What countries?
The plan is that we're picking the boat up from Barcelona on board a mystery boat with a revolutionary new design that we'll be testing out while we cruise the Western Med. I'm really excited. I honestly feel like Italy, Spain and France is going to be absolutely epic. I'm a little worried about the winds. I've heard that they can be pretty full on. We saw what happened in Corsica, and that freaks me out. The thought that we could be smashed with those like Mediterranean winds that can blow sometimes up to 100 knots freaks me out.
Study your winds, I reckon. They'll creep up on you and get you. I think my bit of advice in Europe is enjoy it, but prepare to motor.
Yeah.
The Med stands for motor every day.
How do you feel about it, John? Are you excited?
Very excited.
So you're probably wondering, what boat? So exciting. I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell them.
Now.
It'll be worth the wait, guys. It'll be worth the wait. On that note, cheers for being here with us on this ride. We've been working so hard to get these projects off the ground. Oh my god.
Just some ice I prepared earlier for the cocktails.
Oh!
How do we break this up?
Now, I've literally been drinking tea for days. So tonight on the menu, we're breaking the drought with spicy coconut margaritas.
No.
Coconut margie.
How did you make them? Give us your special secret.
coconut tequila, coconut liqueur, about the same of lime juice.
And last but not least,
agave syrup.
What's agave syrup?
What tequila's made from, agave plant.
I've never heard of it before.
Yeah, more natural than like sugar syrup and it has a better flavour.
It is our last night on the boat, so we're going to be putting the cameras away really shortly. But I'm just so grateful that we've had this opportunity to meet 3 amazing other Aussie YouTube channels. It's been such a blessing that we could all be in the same location together and create some really long-lasting friendships.
Have you got one on the plane? Is that one?
Oh, the sun's gone!
Did someone turn the jetty on?
Is it Patreon or Patreon?
Okay, so Patreon is the page,
Oh,
and
no,
then
she was washing
patrons
out.
are
Is
the
that washing
people
off?
that are on the page.
Okay.
It's like funny. I
Cheers,
got a little
patrons.
thing that says
And
like,
we've just announced the 2 winners for our 5-day sailing course giveaway over on our Facebook page. Thank you to the 700 people who entered. If you didn't win, Mainstay Sailing is giving you $150 off their Competent Crew or Day Skipper courses to help you kickstart your sailing dreams. And John and I just want to say an extra special thanks to our patrons who helped us commit to making these videos for the next couple of years. To show our appreciation, we can't wait to invite some of you on board with us this year. So consider joining us over on Patreon if you'd like to be part of our crew.